Feedback is a gift, right? That's what they say. Feedback's a gift. How come sometimes it doesn't feel like a gift? And how do we always manage to get it wrong somehow? That's like the one thing we tend to screw up regularly is feedback. I've worked in the personal and professional development space for a long time, and this is something that always comes up. So I want to address one thing that we could do to better understand feedback and to improve our relationship to feedback. So when you think about feedback, feedback is really making somebody else aware of something that you have observed. You saw something and you want to let this person know that you saw that. Because remember, as humans, we're social creatures. So we naturally, part of our identity and part of our self-concept comes from external perspectives, like how people see us and how people engage with us. But one thing I've seen happen often is that people will give somebody feedback and then they determine whether giving that feedback was successful if the person implemented the feedback. I see this happen in organizations where they give feedback on company things when they do like, biannual or annual surveys, kind of getting a temperature of team members or employees. But I've also seen it in like relationships where people express themselves and when the feedback's not implemented, then they say, well, then it didn't work. So why would I give them feedback? We have to change that perspective. The purpose of feedback is to make somebody else aware of what you think or feel about something or about what you observed. And it's their responsibility to be receptive to that feedback. And also it's your responsibility to also be receptive to people's feedback. But that person or you gets to decide whether you want to implement that feedback. But that does not take away from the success of giving feedback. So if you gave someone feedback and they listened, and for whatever reason they decided to not implement it, you still gave feedback. That's the success part. And especially if they listened, but you said the thing that needed to be said. And flip it around, the person said the thing to you. If you got feedback and that person said what needed to be said to you for whatever it was, now, of course, you can also decide is this something I want to implement or not, but that does not detract or take away from giving feedback successfully. We have to separate giving feedback from implementation of feedback. What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you.